chime in at any time with a comment or anything. I'm going to start the music, and if you could just give me a thumbs up if you can hear it okay. It may start really slow and low at first. Was that, can you hear that? Is that okay? Yeah, all right, well, okay. Well, you know what? I'll move it as close as I can, and hopefully as we go, we'll pick up. We will begin with our breath and finding a comfortable position, sitting, standing, and these even can be done walking. You can close your eyes or you can leave them open. You take a deep breath in, exhaling deeply, letting go of all that no longer serves you. Breathe in calm, breathe out anxiety. On this in-breath, you can say the word be, and on the out, calm. So it becomes a mantra, be calm. Another deep breath in, and let it all go. We are ready to begin. Imagine that you are standing on a beautiful beach. The sand is beneath your feet. The ocean sounds are all around. You hear birds overhead and gentle lapping of the waves against the shore. You smell the salty air and feel the warm sun upon your face. You are here, breathing. Take in this amazing moment. You feel fully able to appreciate and be here now. You have set all your worries aside. You are fully present. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in calm, breathing out anxiety. Some waves are small and some waves are large. What they have in common is that they come and go. Come and go. The ebb and flow. There may come a time that you find yourself getting caught up in a wave. That's okay. Come back to the ocean. Enjoy this view. Hold gratitude for this view. Observe the waves flowing in and out. They are always coming and they are always going. Ebb and flow. Today we can practice gratitude for all of the things as they bring us closer to ourselves, coloring our worlds and lives with the many shades of being human. The deep dark purples and cool blues, the greens so abundant, the fiery reds and vibrant oranges and yellows, reminding us of so many beautiful moments. These amazing moments of life slipping into memories that hold us, captivate, inspire, define, and become us. As we slide into embracing all of the things, we realize that without the darkness of blacks and grays, the whites would not appear so pure and powerful, so meaningful. We are only whole with our shadow and light. Our shadows' sides shed light and perspective. They push us forward into growth. They empower us to seek balance, both internally and externally. We are the creative force behind our lives. When we focus on all that we have, we hold a high vibration that surges us onward. We feel capable, we are resilient, and we are ready to face life's challenges. Breathing in, breathing out. At this point in the meditation, I invite you to say aloud to yourself or write down all the things that you're grateful for. Maybe it's the first cup of morning coffee. Maybe it's someone special in your life or a job that you love. So that is the meditation portion. I don't know were you all able to hear the music eventually? Did it get a little louder? A little bit? Okay, good. I'll have to shut the windows next time. I'll make sure to do that. Yeah. Okay. So at this point is sort of the guided art, and I say guided art, but really it's not guided art. The way that I teach art and the way that I like to do art is very sort of spontaneously. I feel that that allows people to really be their authentic self. So I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's more about what's going to come out of you. That's what's going to make it really special, and that's what's going to bring healing and I believe accompany the meditation and being reflective. I will move my video down so that you can see just my art supplies, and I am going to do it. And you're all welcome to kind of do what I'm doing if that's what is kind of helping you along in this. Maybe when I have a stick, you want to try using a stick, or maybe when I have a colored pencil, you want to try that. Or maybe you're feeling like you're really ready to take off and just begin. And that's great too. Everyone can just sort of begin wherever they are, and wherever you're at is perfect. So I have 3 types of paper here today. I have a sort of an ink type paper. I have some watercolor paper. And I also have a journal that I kind of have ongoing. It has writing and art in it. So whatever paper you have is fine for this. I'm going to turn my phone down now so you can see my table. So in addition to having the paper, I also have, hopefully you all can see it here, okay? I have ink. I grabbed some nature materials that I felt were inspiring. Some cedar needles, some flowers that are sort of drying up at this point, some bark, pine cone, and a stick. Okay. Also have colored pencil, watercolor paint, pen. So I'm going to get started on it. And how many people have worked this way before? If you want to just speak up, I can't see as well as I would like right now with my camera down. No one? Okay, great. I heard someone say earlier that they, I know that Jess is an artist. Is someone else an artist also in the group?
I dabble in it, Sarah.
Okay, nice, awesome, cool. Well, I would love to see, I've seen a lot of Jess's work. I would love to see your work too, if you have a website or, yeah, that would be great. Okay, hopefully this is gonna stay up here for us. All right. Okay, so disjointed since I had to move in from my studio. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully my internet's better. Another day, you all can see. Okay. So I always like to start with some water on my paper. I don't know about any of you, but that's how I like to begin. Sort of when I'm going like free form, just sort of see what happens. So these are inks that I'm using right now. And they tend to really bleed together.
What are those inks?
So these are just a Bombay Dr. P.H. Martin's inks. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them at I got them at art supply store. Yeah, they're really vibrant and beautiful. And they can be used with like a dry brush. Here you can see a dry brush. Then you can, go into the wet. They spread really well. And they make prints. So if you have anything that you wanted to, like I have my leaves here, I can dip them in and then see what happens when I lay them flat there. And then of course you can also use these as like a collage element. And you can add your glue. I did bring some Elmer's glue in. You might feel inspired to do a little writing. Maybe this is part of your gratitude list that you made earlier, and kind of writing some of those things in as you go. This is one of my flowers. I found. So what did people bring? Anyone bring any nature items? You guys can get started as soon as you're ready. I did mean for this to be kind of everybody works at the same time sort of thing, but whatever you're comfortable with is okay. All right, so, okay, you can hear me, right? Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, great. All right, so it's about 4:10-ish. And I don't want to stop people from working if they're in a really good flow. But I also know that your time is valuable and I don't want to extend over our hour. If people have comments or reflection, want to share, I would love to see. I'm sure everybody would love to see everyone's work. And just to discuss sort of this type of practice and how maybe this is helpful, maybe it isn't helpful, how this could work with kids. But really, whatever is helpful to you all.
I'll go.
Oh, great.
I just dabbled with some techniques I've never done before. I have all these natural materials here and I was painting with them. And I particularly chose a daylily stem, which is hollow like a tube. It's like a straw. And then an iris stem, which is the same thing. It's also like a tube, but it's very small and hard. And so I was bopping these all over my paper and making circles that were like donuts and some were just filled in. And then I got going with something more fluffy and it doesn't look interesting at all, but it was really fun to paint with natural materials.
Yeah, wow, that's so cool. That's great. I love the straw. I'm envisioning some kids with those, and I'm wondering if they will be like slurping up like a pain, or how fun like that could be with
If you
with
can
doing
see,
something like that with kids. Oh, that's beautiful.
sort of
Wow.
hard with this background, but see the dots, they were fun. Those were the iris dots.
Love that. And what a great way to get symmetry into a piece if you wanted to do that. Wow, that's really amazing. I love that. So what other materials did you have?
I was using watercolor paint, which
Okay.
is not the best for this technique, given my setup here, but if you had like more like something like you've got with ink or acrylics or something, that might work better, because I just kept having to like wet the paint and make it into a little pool that I could dip in. And
Yeah.
but that's, you just experiment and see what works.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think it's so great just to play around with it and see what happens. What is your usual work like?
Not like this. Well, I do environmental art with natural materials. So I'm usually using the materials to make art outside in nature.
Oh, that's amazing. Wow. Okay.
So
Well,
now
if you have a website, I'd love to see it.
I have an Instagram. I'll share it with you.
Great. Great. Awesome. So are you doing more 3D things or?
Yes.
Love that. Great. Well, thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jess.
Right. So I didn't bring any natural materials, but I'm at my in-laws' house, and their house has open windows. So I just looked outside. So I don't know if you can see it, but one of the things I was grateful for is my family, because they helped me out a lot, especially with watching my kids, so I could be able to have this time to do this. So I started out with trying to paint that tree. I don't know how
Nice.
And then next week we're going to the beach. So kind of the meditation of the beach kind of like put me in that mindset. So I kind of transitioned like the family into like a beach scene. I haven't finished it, but this is just what I started. I used, because I'm traveling, I'm not home, I used my travel watercolor set with the water brush that has the water built into it.
Cool. I've never used one of those. That's interesting. So does it spread it?
I actually really yeah, like the container here has the water in it. You just fill it in. It always unscrews the opposite way that you think it does. But then you have the brush, and then you just squirt out the water and pick up your color. and then you just wipe it off on a paper towel, and you can continue using this one brush for any color. I
wow.
like the smaller one. This one came with a longer brush, but I like the smaller brushes better, but they're easy to travel with, and you don't have to, even at home, I'll use these versus getting a cup of water, because then I don't have to worry about getting a new, emptying the water or just leaving it there.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, that's really cool. I love that you did the tree. I do a lot of trees myself. I feel like they're very symbolic and they're such great, I mean, yeah, it from life, absolutely. Looking at it and doing it is so great. And they're even so able to be done just by imagination. So I love the tree. That's a cool point, focal point, I guess, to start with. Nice, awesome. And Liza, did you get a chance to get settled with your materials? I don't know if she's there right now.
I'm here and I got settled, but not in time to do it, not with materials. It started raining now. So yeah.
Okay,
But
well,
I'm inspired by what you all did. I think it's beautiful and amazing. And I've worked with lots of different art mediums, but that ink is so vibrant and beautiful. I'm excited to try to find it.
yeah, you would love it. It really is very vibrant. I love the way it bleeds. It definitely plays differently on so many types of paper, too. It's really interesting how the inks really look so different on the different papers. Like this is watercolor, and then this ink paper that I have, this is like a pen paper, and it looks really different. I don't have any samples right now because I just did it on that, but it looks so different. And then I have this journal that I do a lot of them in, and then the ink looks, it's like almost as though it were a different material every time just from the paper itself. So it's fun to experiment and just see. I'm wondering what it would look like on top of some of those nature materials, like what it would look like on a really large piece of bark. I have this long piece here and I'm just curious, like, what would happen. And maybe for Sarah, like, I know you really like your building with them and using them. I wonder what it would look like to put some of the materials that we use on, right on top. So yeah. It's brighter than liquid watercolor, Jess, just because it's not a student grade. I've never seen a professional liquid watercolor, but I'm sure that it would be comparable if it were a professional grade. I've only seen student grade. Do you have professional grade liquid watercolors or? Yeah, I've only seen.
No, I just have another liquid packs art one that I have at the school. I don't know if it's what grade it's considered, but I haven't worked with it much, so I was just wondering how it compared.
Yeah, the inks are definitely more vibrant. I have a lot left them in my studio, but these Dr. P.H. Martins are really good. And then there's a couple other brands that are professional grade, and their pigments are just vibrant. So I've not seen any liquid watercolors as vibrant, but the tube watercolors that I have are quite comparable to it. They just work differently. The liquid water, the tube watercolors bleed into each other in this really, I think, beautiful way that you don't get the same transitions with the inks. They're just different. They're both great. They're just really different. But I would say if you're looking for like a budget one or just one to try it out, Dollar Rowney. That's the other. I can send this, but this is the other brand that I like. But this is more of a budget brand, I think. The Bombay, and they come in these like giant wheels, so you get bunches of colors. So that'd probably be a good place to start, Liza. We're gonna get some. Yeah. So I don't know how many people feel like they could do like meditation or a music with kids. I'm curious because I feel like there's so many things dependent on it. It's hard. It's like the group and the music, and does it set them off? Does it calm them? I know it can be intimidating. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I used to start my classes with a 1-minute meditation based off Marcus. I can't think of his last name. I think it starts with a B. But it was just to learn that you can just in 1 minute you can just clear your minds, and then the more that you do it, the less time it takes to just get out of that moment and just be like released of any like anxiety. I used to start my classes with it with the students, and some liked it and some could care less, but some were like, oh, I used it the other day, like when I was getting stressed, I just did and started breathing for 1 minute, and it works. And
That's great. Was that with high school or elementary?
I did it with middle and high school, but I've also seen it done with elementary as well. The kindergarten teacher used to do the 1 minute meditation. I'd walk in and she'd just be starting it. I'm like, oh, I want to join in. So the kids were excited that I would sit there and participate in the 1 minute.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. I really love the idea of infusing it in. I found last year, for me, teaching second grade, some days it would be really perfect and the students would love the music. And other days they would feel like it just was not working for them, and it almost would set some of them off. So I had to really read the vibe in the room that day and the energy. I've never done meditations with kids, only had sort of the calming music while I always called it calm within the chaos, because my kids at last year were just so bouncy and always doing things, just but it was this calm within it. So they'd be, doing, but there was like this very like quiet hum about the space if it was a good day. So or a good day for music, I should say. It was always a good day. But yeah, so I would be interested in trying the meditation part with students at some point. Right now, I've only done it with adults. So, Sarah, I missed in the beginning. What do you teach? Are you are you a teacher?
No, I'd like to be. Maybe sometime after I retire, I can start my career. But I have dabbled with doing some workshops for adults in nature-based education environmental art. And I just did my first workshop a couple of weeks ago for some middle school kids who were at a camp near us that focused on where nature and art connect. And they invited me in for the day, and I was a little nervous that I wouldn't be able to teach kids, but it was great. The middle school kids were there because they like nature and art. So, they were a perfect audience, but they took to it like crazy. It was really wonderful.
Oh, I love. What did you do with them?
We just,
You don't mind sharing.
no, I had plans to be outdoors, but it was a